Welcome to Phillies Postgame Live, presented by Cure Auto Insurance. Ruben Amaro Jr. I'm Michael Barkan, Michael Jack Schmidt in a moment. And 9-2 Phillies lost to the Pittsburgh Pirates. 8-8 Phillies record on the season. They split the season series with Pittsburgh. But guess what, Ruben? I keep saying this young season. Well, now we're a tenth of the way through the season. And it shouldn't be going like this, I would submit, for your Philadelphia Phillies. But unfortunately, it is. Whether it's the pitching, and we didn't see what we wanted to see, I don't think, from Zack Wheeler, or whether it's the fielding or lack thereof. It was sloppy today.
Yeah, it was a sloppy ball game. Not a great day game or effort by the fighting Phillies. I really liked the way Zack Wheeler was throwing the ball early in this game. He had a lot of life to his fastball. Struggled a little bit with his off-speed stuff. He's been really, really good with his off-speed stuff, being able to command the strike zone. But they couldn't do much against Mitch Keller. I mean, Mitch Keller, a lot of soft contact. He mixed up his pitches extremely well, and they just didn't play a good, solid baseball game, unfortunately. And, you know, after that 5-run fifth, it was basically, that game was almost over. Yeah,
they continue to fail to get enough runs for Zack Wheeler, Ruben. And usually there's a pitcher every year in the rotation where that is a struggle. It's been Aaron Nola before. It's been Cole Hamels before. What is it about this team that struggles to score with Zack Wheeler on the mound?
You know, it is an interesting phenomenon, Michael, because there are a lot of teams, and there's a lot that really want to get so many runs for them that they almost try too much at times. I've seen that happen with some other clubs, as you said, Cole Hamels. They were even a time when Roy Halladay didn't get some support when he was pitching really, really well. It's one of those things. Kurt Schilling went through it as well when I was playing with him. We just try to do so much for the guy that you almost try to do a little bit too much, and things sometimes fall apart, and that's what happened today.
All right, across the street, let's check in with the legend Michael Jack Schmidt. Called today's game with Tom McCarthy and John Kruk. This was
I didn't mean any of that stuff I said about you.
Oh, sure.
Michael.
You know what? I didn't even hear it. Okay, I wrote it all down, but I didn't hear it. Anyway, Mike, no laughing matter if you're the Philadelphia Phillies, or perhaps as important, Phillies fans. What the heck happened today?
Yeah, we had our biggest crowd of the year, too. Well, you know, it's the sixth inning's what happened. It was ugly for a while. A couple of strange scoring plays, bad fielding plays, but the game was all in hand up until the sixth inning. And, you know, it started off with Alec Boehm's error at third base. Then there was a walk. And then there was a chink hit. I guess that was McCutchen, yeah. And then Sawinski, he hit a little backdoor kind of breaking ball for a home run. It was a great day to hit, especially for the Pirates, not so much for the Phillies. But grand slammy, and then 2 more Ks and another home run by Joey Bart. And that's what happened today right there in the sixth inning.
The great Joey Bart.
Michael Jack, you've been in these games, these day games at times, with Steve Carlton on the mound. Is there? And we just talked about it. Is there any more pressure when you play for your ace that day? Are you trying to do too much offensively or defensively?
I don't think so, Ruben. I don't know. I don't think so. When Carlton pitched, we said, "Hey guys, just get 2. You know, get ahead of them by 1 run. It's 2, 3. That'll do it." And you know, generally that attitude was a good attitude. You know, we get ahead early, and you know, it's pretty much going to be our game. That was kind of the attitude when we played. When the ace was on the mound, you were in good shape with a couple of runs.
When you look at the way this team seems to have a proclivity for hitting into double plays, I don't know if there's something that they're failing to do, but it's happening too many times, one would think.
Well, that's a tough one to give you a good answer on that. I mean, hitting into a double play, a lot of things could happen. You could scorch a ball as a left-handed hitter right at the second baseman, and boom, it turns into a double play. Rojas, he rolled over like a breaking ball on the outer half of the plate his last at-bat, and he hits a ground ball to short. And you never think Rojas is going to ground into a double play. And boom, he grounds into a double play. You know, what do? The first one you can't do anything about because you scorched it, and the next one you don't want to a ball you should have hit straight up the middle or right center. He hooks to the shortstop because he's fooled a little bit. His swing is a little bit too big. So, there's all kinds of answers to why you hit into double plays. And, for me to say there's generally one reason, I don't have it.
All right, last thing, which is the fielding for this team, on this team. And I think the official scorer is being kind. I have them officially with 2 errors. And you look at JT's pass ball and the throw into the outfield. I guess as a fielder you like it, but that's not what happened.
Yeah, it was a sloppy game to watch. I don't know. There's a general consensus. I don't know what the rule is, but they field a lot of balls off to the side with one hand in the infield nowadays, this generation. And you see a game like we had today and you go, why? But most of the time they catch them. But I'm not saying it's the fundamentally sound way to do it, off to the side with one hand. I don't think Larry Boa ever fielded a ball without getting in front of it. Myself too. I mean, I couldn't risk it. The pitcher wants that to be an out. They don't, like the backhand the ball over the bag at third base when you could take a couple of steps and get in front of it. I think it's an awful thing. And then as far as scoring goes, you heard me during the game say that they can't give a base hit on the ball that Hayes slipped on. Yeah. They did. If I were the hitter and they gave me that, I mean, that's a bonus for me. I would take it, but that's not a base hit. I don't know. I don't know whether it's a different game, a different time or not, but in my mind, that's not a base hit. There were a couple crazy scoring decisions today.
Let me tell you something, my friend. There was no one better than you grabbing it with one hand, though, going into the foul territory.
Well, that's a different thing.
I know what you're saying.
Alec Boehm's pretty darn good at that as well, but that's a different thing where you got to make the plays you're supposed to make. 99% of the time. The one-handed, barehanded play, you don't have to make that play. It's a bonus if you can, but sloppy game. Move on to the next one.
All right, now I got to.
Thanks, Michael.
Now, as you leave, I'll get to talk about you. It's going to be a lot of fun.
You better watch it.
All right, I'll watch it.
Hey, I won't come to that golf tournament if you do.
No.
If I hear about it.
June 20th, you're penciled in.
Both of you guys got golf tournaments I'm playing in.
Mm-hmm.
That's right.
Don't come to his, but come to mine.
Kind man, Michael.
Be careful. Hey, be careful.
You know it.
He had over 20 home runs last year. He's got pop. And you see after the really, really strong start, I mean, he really was pitching extraordinarily well in the early part. 10 punch-outs in 5 innings.
Yeah.
And but the 3 walks were the things that I think that got him a little bit. Wasn't quite as sharp with his breaking stuff as far as being able to command it as he had been in the previous starts. But still a quality, I mean, not necessarily a quality start by the stats, but a start where the Phillies, if they would have played a little bit better behind him and gave him a little bit more support, maybe it's a different outcome.
Is there anything more to it than, one bad start, or not bad start, but one start that's insufficient and another, and he put 4 together and he does not have a win? The ace of this staff, is there anything else to look at with regard to Zack Wheeler?
No, he's thrown him really, really well. He's one of the best right-handed pitchers, maybe one of the best starters in the National League, definitely, maybe in baseball. I love the way he pitches. I love the life on his fastball today. Again, sometimes it doesn't work out, and they didn't really support him all that well behind him. But and he wasn't quite as sharp with his stuff as he normally is. But still, I mean, he had a good enough stuff, and I think he performed well enough to win until that one inning where things kind of got discombobulated.
Yeah, unfortunately, so many cheap runs for the Pittsburgh Pirates, but they weren't cheap for the Phillies.
Frustrating it is, or a lost opportunity is that you guys are 0-4 in Wheeler's starts this season.
It is frustrating. We haven't really swung the bats in his starts. That'll change. But, he's, for the most part, he's pitched really well. I mean, even in that last inning today, air, walk, kind of fly ball base hit. And Sawinski the pitch was over the plate, was down. Still 96 in the last inning. So he's pitched very well all year. So it is frustrating, but it'll change. Wheels, really good. Really good to see that the fastball velocity got up 95, 96, and he maintained it for the entire game. And I thought early in the game he was trying to find a split, and then finally I think he got it later, but the breaking balls were good. I thought he was fine.
With how well he was pitching in that fourth inning, first and third, 2 outs, he got 2 strikes on Michael Taylor. What goes into the decision to try to get the runner there at second?
We run the return play there, and the throw just got away from JT. If we play catch, he's out.
That inning also 2 ground balls that didn't turn double plays. I know there's a lot of factors that go into that,
Yeah.
exit velocity, runner speed, but only 7 double plays so far this year with the infield. You're a high ground ball pitching team.
Yeah.
Is that a concern at all, or something you guys have talked about?
Well, it's something we went through last year at the start of the year too, and then as time went on, we got better at it. So I know Bobby is really working hard at it, and we'll clean that up. But you know, there in today's game, there were a lot of cases where we gave extra bases to people, and you can't do that, and that's not typically what we do. So it was just kind of a weird game today, and we just got to dust off and come back in here tomorrow and get going again.
Is everything fine physically with Bryce Harper?
Yeah, he's just frustrated. He's just trying to do too much, I think, right now, and he's maybe overswinging a little bit and not getting his contact point isn't exactly where he usually has it. So, you know, he's just got to fight through it.
What have you noticed with Johan? I think he's hitting like 400 over the past week or something like that now.
With Rojas?
Yeah.
He's staying through the ball a little bit. You know, he gets a base hit to right field today, but there are still some at bats where he's cutting the swing off and he's hitting the ball off the end of the bat. I think the at bats are better, but I think he's also a better hitter than what he's showing at this time.
Considering his pitch count, were you on the edge about whether or not to take Wheels out, man?
On Sawinski? No. He's our guy. He's our ace. He's our stud, and I was going to let him try and get through how many hitters he could within his pitch count, and his pitch count was fine. He was at 100, so he probably had a couple of hitters left.
What's the biggest thing preventing Sir Anthony from being the guy he was in 2022?
Geez, this stuff was really good today. He just, one pitch, the guy hits the ball at the ballpark, but I thought he threw the ball really good today. And I want to say this about Pinto. He took it for the team today. That kid is tough. He's a real great teammate, and he stepped up and saved our bullpen probably.
Is Alonso down? I know he pitched yesterday, but he was...
No, he was not down, but in that game I'm not going to use him.
In 2 different starts, they certainly got the opposite today. 7 innings pitched, 8 hits, 2 earned runs, 4 strikeouts, 95 pitches, and now a 4.50 ERA in 4 starts. So he lowers it significantly, and unfortunately for the Phillies, they were baffled, and that always worries me. You see a guy, and especially on the last game of a series, you see a guy that you think they should be able to take care of, and it doesn't happen.
Yeah, well, we talked about it in the open. The first 4 guys in the lineup, career-wise, were hitting well over 600 against this guy, and the only guy that really did some damage against him was Trea Turner, which is great for him to get rolling here. Hits a home run, a couple of other really good at bats, but just couldn't get it done against Mitch Keller, and that's one of the reasons why the Pirates locked him up. He's got good stuff. They're going to hope that he can be at the top of their rotation for some time.
All right, let's get to Zack Wheeler. He starts out the season, ERA through 2 starts is 0, and he gets banged up in 3rd start, 1.89 going into today. Now it's a 3 ERA. What's Wheeler have to say for his performance today?
Did you have a chance to look at the pitch on the Grand Slam and kind of, what you think? I mean, was it just not down enough?
Yeah, I mean, it was down a little bit, but it was middle, and it was a little bit of a hanger, and he's put good wood on it, so, he back spun it out of there. It was kind of weird seeing that off the bat. Doesn't happen all that much, just, seeing it visually like that, so, credit to him. Yeah.
How frustrating is that? You're kind of cruising through 5, you got your stuff working, ground ball starts getting a long walk, a little blooper, and then shoot.
Yeah, today was good, but it was frustrating at the same time. The outcome wasn't good, but I felt like personally made some good strides mechanically. made an adjustment between last start and this start, and the ball was definitely coming out better today, and it's just a matter of figuring out how the ball's moving now. I was leaving a lot arm side. My two-seamer wasn't doing the same thing it usually did, and off-speed was moving a little bit more than it usually did. So, just kind of honing that in between the start and next start, and I'll be ready to go.
Is the warmer weather a big reason for the velocity going up?
No, I think the mechanical adjustment. I mean, I'm sure that helps, but the mechanical adjustment just let me be a little more free and easy, and something as simple as just staying more upright instead of leaning over, my front side. So, just the ball's going to move a little different, and just got to figure that out.
So that mechanical adjustment leads to the sweeper moving a little bit more?
Yeah, it was definitely taking off a lot more today, and I feel like my curveball was better today because of that. And I think they had a good approach too. Sometimes you got to give them credit. They weren't biting on a lot of stuff down. I felt like my split finger was good today. They just weren't biting on it, and I think they're just seeing me up. So it's a little cat and mouse game, but I need to do better.
Are you a believer in that things even up over the course of a long season?
Yeah, I mean, that's what we always say, right? Like this.
Yeah, but do you believe it?
Yeah, yeah. I always say that too. It's 162, and this is just one of them. So, we'll be all right.